As per section 8.2 of the procedural bylaw, I do call this meeting to order. We are without a mayor and an acting mayor, so the council has appointed Councillor Shine as acting mayor for today. I pass it over to Councillor Shine.
Thank you, Sue. I'd like to call the regular council meeting, the 46th meeting of the 40th Council on June 24th, 2024, to order. At this time, we'll take a moment of reflection. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Sue for the additions and approval of the agenda.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Shine. Under number 7, Committee of the Whole Reports Departments, number 3, Public Works, we would like to add a Maple Pedestrian Bridge Crossing RFQ. And number B would be the LED lights, awarding the contract. Under number 4, Fire and Property, we are selling 361 O'Brien Street. 561 O'Brien Street. Sorry, thank you.
Moved by Councillor Gord Knowles, seconded by Janelle Zacharias. Sorry about that. Resolved that the agenda for the 46th meeting of the 40th Council be approved as amended. All in favor? Moving on to item 5, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Moved by Councillor Jim Johnson, seconded by Councillor Gord Knowles, resolved that the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting held June 10th, 2024 be received and filed. All in favor? Carried. Item B, moved by Councillor Gord Knowles, seconded by Councillor Jim Johnson, resolved that the minutes of the 45th meeting of the 40th Council held June 10th, 2024 be adopted as written. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Jim Johnson, seconded by Councillor Gord Knowles, resolved that the minutes of the in-camera meeting held June 10th, 2024 be adopted as written. All in favor? Carried. Are there any matters arising out of the minutes? Hearing none, we'll move on to Committee of the Whole reports. First one on the agenda is Administration and Employee Relations, amendment to the committee structure. Moved by Councillor Gord Knowles, seconded by Councillor Jim Johnson, that the Council for the Town of Atikokan approve and accept the June 24th, 2024 committee structure as attached and amended. All in favor? Carried. Finance. Moved by Councillor Jim Johnson, seconded by Councillor Gord Knowles, resolved that the bylaw number 21-24, being a bylaw to enter into an agreement with the AMO for the Canada Community Building Fund, be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed. All in favor? Carried. Item B under Finance, moved by Councillor Gord Knowles, seconded by Councillor Jim Johnson, that the bylaw number 22-24, being a bylaw to enter into an agreement with FedNor, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. All in favor? Carried. Pardon me? Public Works. That's Janelle. Moved by Councillor Janelle Zacharias and seconded by Councillor Gord Knowles. Resolved that the Town of Atikokan award the Maple Crescent Pedestrian Bridge Replacement, RFQ, to Pete's Backhoe Service Limited in the amount of $233,395 plus HST. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Janelle Zacharias, seconded by Councillor Gord Knowles, that the Town Council award the supply of fixtures to Real Term Energy in the amount of $23,895 plus HST. All in favor? Carried. And this is... Okay. Moved by Councillor Janelle Zacharias, seconded by Councillor Gord Knowles, that the Atikokan Town Council authorize administration to sell municipal property located at 561 O'Brien to Mackenzie Bode in the amount of $3,000 plus $800 administration and legal fees plus applicable taxes. All in favor? Carried. I can move on to supplementary committees. Atikokan Public Library. Councillor Zacharias.
Thank you, Chair Shine. We have both meeting minutes from May 13th and June 17th. I wasn't able to attend the May 13th meeting because our meeting ran a little long. But if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them.
Any questions from anyone for Janelle, Councillor Zacharias?
I think most notable was the Spring Fling event with the petting zoo and the animals, which had over 300 people in attendance that day. So it was really well taken up.
Thank you for that, Councillor Zacharias.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have your hand up, right, Leah? Oh, sorry. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss you. Okay. Moving on to C, Museum of Atikokan, which is me. You have before you the meeting minutes of June the 7th. Is there any questions in regards to that? Councillor Johnson.
Yes, I see they want to again attack the history of Atikokan by wanting to remove the caboose and the Euclid and the lumber wagon, and I'll fight that to the death.
Okay, I can speak to that because I was going to the history of Sapawi and they called me to go over and take a look at the vandalism that has taken place. I would advise you to go take a look at it, or I can send you the pictures. It's quite destructive. They tried to burn it. They're using it as a party place. They had sealed the door so no one could get in there. They found a way to get in there through the windows. They broke the windows. They then proceeded to burn things inside. They've done a swastika on the inside. It's quite destructive. The little wee wagon also has been attempted to be burnt. It's
Don't take away our history.
no. We thank you, Councillor Zacharias. What can I say?
I just have a question. How much does the vandalism cost the museum to repair every year? Or would you have that kind of figure?
No, I don't have anything for that.
Okay.
I would think it was going to be quite extensive because the damage is quite significant. I will send Councillor Johnson and anybody else who would like to see the pictures as well.
Thank you.
You don't have to send me no pictures.
Yes, Jason?
If I can make a suggestion, as you're aware, we are looking at doing a organizational review, service delivery review this year. And I think certainly as part of that conversation, you know, maybe the Legion Point itself, the artifacts, you know, the future planning for it could certainly be part of that. Obviously, the board has put forward a recommendation. It sounds like maybe there are some councillors who maybe don't agree with that. So I think as part of the service delivery review, it would make a lot of sense to have that conversation maybe at that time to have a plan versus just specifically talking about one item, maybe looking at a more global approach. And I think in the meantime, if we look at just cleaning up the vandalism and securing it so it's safe for our community, and then maybe committing to have that conversation down the road might be a course of action. Council wants to take.
Thank you for that, Jason, which is a very good idea because it's not just only the artifacts that have become an issue. The big truck, one of the up there too, has become a hazard. They're lighting little fires inside there, as well as there needs to be some upgrades to the facilities that are on Legion Point as well. Yes, Councillor McQuay.
Thanks, Chair Shine. I'm trying to read your name tag and it says Ferguson. Jason, how do you have any idea of how we could make it secure? The issue, we don't want to remove it. That's not something we want to do, but those pieces of equipment are becoming a liability. They are old, they're rusty, there's kids climbing in them, on them, doing all the things that Councillor Shine has said, and frankly, I think it's a huge liability to us as a town. So if there's suggestions and ways that we can keep them by securing them somehow, we're all for it. It's just right now, the way that they are, somebody is going to get hurt.
Yes, Jason, I almost said
Yeah,
Councillor.
so I had spoke with Lois a couple weeks back, and we talked about just kind of securing that, obviously before Canada Day, but for the summer, so that at least we don't have people going inside there and causing more damage. But to your point of risk and liability, yeah, I think it goes to the whole review of Legion Point, you know, whether we're going to be putting another bridge there, the future of the log cabin itself and the artifact. So I think there's an immediate concern, that's safety, and I think that's being addressed shortly, if not already. And then once we have that done, then we'll look at a longer plan for the area itself. To Councillor Johnson's comments.
I will make a statement. It's not exactly what Councillor McQuay said. We don't want to get rid of them, but we need to find a way to mitigate the issues that are taking place there. And it's more than just saying, throwing another $100,000 at them, which we don't have in the museum budget, I can guarantee you that, to get them repaired. It's how do we go about preventing all of this from happening? Any other questions? And then the second item was the special report for the visitors and volunteers. We had a request that we put these on there like every 4 months so that people would be aware of what our statistics are for our visiting. Is there anything, anybody has any questions about this? As you can see, some months were slower, but it's kind of picking up again. No questions? Oh, sorry. Councillor Knowles?
Sorry, it just goes back to the previous discussion. Is there any options for things like security cameras and that out there? It does seem to be a long-standing issue of vandalism out there, and whatever it is, whether it's snow machines in the winter or people destroying property in the summer. Like, is there capability even for that out there, just given the distance for internet and that sort of stuff? Is that a possibility, or is being looked at by the board?
I know we discussed it a few years back in regards to maybe doing a trail camera, is that what they're called? But we just didn't feel that that was going to work.
So as we recently passed the surveillance policy, so we are looking at a bunch of areas for the town to be under that. So certainly, and we're trying to find equipment that is similar for everyone, right? So it's ease of use. So certainly we'll have discussions with the museum when we get into that and looking if there's options for that area if it's needed.
Okay, great, thank you.
As destructive as it is, they would probably find a way to destroy it. That's all I can say on that. Are there any other questions? Do I have to do anything with this? Okay. Hearing nothing else on the agenda, we will adjourn this meeting at 5. Oh, sorry. I'm missing my next one I have to talk about, right? Cemetery Board, which is me. The minutes are there again. Is there any questions? Hearing no. Oh, Councillor Zacharias.
What, was it an anonymous donor that donated the $2,000?
Yes.
Was it just directly for anything or just cemetery? Oh, very nice.
Yes, it was nice to have that. We appreciate it. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. Moved by Councillor Jim Johnson, seconded by Councillor Gord Knowles. Resolved that this meeting do now adjourn at 5:27. Thank you, everyone. All in favor? Carried. I was just kicking you out.
Where do you check junk mail?